Amalie Garden is located between the waterfront and Amalienborg, established in 1983. The two-level garden was designed by Belgian architects. It features marble sculptures and a central fountain designed by Italian Amaldo Pomodo. As you enter the courtyard, the first palace on the left is the Christian Ninth Palace or Skak Palace. The second palace is the Christian Seventh Palace or Maltic Palace. The third palace is the Christian Eighth Palace or Levitsus Palace. The fourth palace is the Frederick Eighth Palace or Brokodov Palace. The equestrian statue of Frederick V by Jacques Sally is at the center of the Amalienborg Palace Square. Behind the statue, the Frederick's Church or the Marble Church can be seen.
And in 1748, the king, he sits up there on his horse. He decided it was time to celebrate that his family had been on the throne for 300 years. And he wanted to start a new part of the city in Copenhagen. He had a very clever architect who had been traveled in Europe and had studied garden design and design in general. He came back and he had been exposed to not a disease but to Rococo. And this was new to Denmark. So the king was not going to live here, but they planned on building 4 palaces. And the king picked, or somebody picked 4 noble families that were going to move in here. So the land was already the king's, so he said, okay, I'll give you the land to build on, you have to pay for the palace. And this is going to be your new home. So that was all done, and they were built. This one lives over here. They used mainly the center floor. And then we have the colonnade between. At one point the king was Christian VII was, we think they used the upper floor with the small windows as their apartments. And the center floors are more for big parties or official things. And we don't really know what else is in here. We did see some of it open before they moved in. It was completely renovated. The Crown Prince's grandparents lived in this one. So every other generation, the palace is being restored. The last one
Museum. According to Aids's master plan for Frederiksstad and the Amalienborg palaces, the 4 palaces surrounding the plaza were conceived as town mansions for the families of chosen nobility. Their exteriors are identical, but interiors are different. The site on which the aristocrats could build was given to them free of charge, and they were further exempted from taxes and duties. The only conditions were that the palaces should comply exactly to the Frederick's architectural specification and that they should be built within a specified framework. Christian Eighth Palace or Levitzow Palace was built in the period of 1750 to 60 for Privy Councillor Christian Frederick Levitzow. Prince Frederick, the heir presumptive, bought the palace in 1794 and gave the painter and architect Nicolai the responsibility for modernization in the new French Empire style. When the heir presumptive died in 1805, his son, Prince Christian, took over both the palaces and the architect. However, Abidgard died in 1809 and the modernization came to a halt in 1839. Prince Christian became king under the name Christian VIII and the palace was subsequently called Christian VIII Palace. The king died in 1848 and the Queen Dowager Carolina Amalie in 1881. From 1885, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs used parts of this palace but had to move when it was made the residence of the Crown Prince Christian X and Princess Alexandrina in 1898. The layout and models of all the four palaces with the Christian statue at the center is shown here. In the 1980s, the Agency for Palaces and Cultural Properties initiated a much needed general restoration of the palace. It was fitted up to house, among other things, the residence and reception rooms for the heir to the throne, stores for Queen's Reference Library, and a museum for the royal house of Luxembourg. A recorded TV show of the warm welcome given to a dignitary in the palace square. The royal guards are accompanying them. Now we are going to watch a change of guard procession and ceremony. Amalienborg is guarded day and night by royal lifeguards. Their full dress uniform is fairly similar to that of foot guards regiments of the British Army: a scarlet tunic, blue trousers, and a navy hareskin cap. The guard marched from Rosenborg Castle at 11:30 am daily through the streets of Copenhagen and execute the changing of the guard in front of Amalienborg at noon. In addition, post replacement is conducted every 2 hours. When the monarch is in residence, the King's Guard also march alongside the changing of the guard at noon, accompanied by a band that plays traditional military marches. The guard lieutenant is always alerted when Prince Henrik or other member of the royal family are reigning in the absence of the Queen. There are three types of watches: the King's Watch, Lieutenant Watch, and the Palace Watch. A King's Watch is when Her Majesty the Queen takes up their residence in Christian IX's palace. A Lieutenant Watch is when Crown Prince Frederick Prince Joachim or Princess Benedict takes the place as regent when the monarch is unable to. A palace watch is when no member of the royal family is in the palace and it is the smallest